We begin with the latest Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Israel carried out a series of airstrikes in Lebanon's port city of Tyre early on Wednesday, saying the target was Hezbollah. The historic city in Lebanon's south came under heavy bombardment after Israel told residents in large parts of Tyre to leave immediately. The local disaster management team said they were working to evacuate nearly the entire city. Earlier explosions hit the suburbs of the Lebanese capital, Beirut, where Israel claims it is striking Hezbollah facilities. All right, I want to go now to journalist Karim El-Gahari, who is in Beirut. Karim, what's the latest? What can you tell us about the situation on the ground there?
Well, here in Beirut, it's today a relatively quiet day, but the focus is really on the southern city of Tyre. That's the fifth biggest city in Lebanon, 20 kilometers the distance from the Israeli border. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage site. This became clear that the city is going to get the focus today because there was an Israeli order for big parts of the city to evacuate, announcing that they're going to strike the city today. After that, quite some panic that broke out in the city. Most of the people already fled in the weeks before, but there was still about 15,000 people left in the city that made their way out of the city now and towards the north. And then shortly after, there was heavy bombardment of Tyre. We don't have actually the news really how many victims or what happened exactly or what was exactly destroyed in Tyre. But of course, this people who again forced to flee to the north, displaced from the city in Tyre, adding to an already huge existing problem in Lebanon. By now we have 1.3 million people on the run inside Lebanon. That's a quarter of the population. Every fourth Lebanese person right now is displaced from their houses, and Tyre is the latest saga in this displacement story.
Journalist Karim El-Gahari with the latest from Beirut. Karim, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock says the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah has placed Lebanon on the brink of collapse. Baerbock is in Beirut for talks with Lebanese officials. She's calling for a diplomatic solution to the conflict, warning that the complete destabilization of Lebanon would have dangerous consequences for the entire Middle East. This is Baerbock's fourth trip to Lebanon since Hamas's October 7th terror attacks against Israel last year.
Let's get more from journalist Stella Manner, who is in Beirut. Welcome, Stella. Bring us up to date.
Well, about an hour ago, Hezbollah has officially announced the death of Hashem Saifeddin, like you just said. This is a massive news because we've been waiting to hear from Hezbollah whether Hashem Saifeddin is dead or not. Saifeddin was the leader of the executive council of the organization, and he was also a very influential person within Hezbollah. He had very close ties with Iran, and he was the cousin of the former leader Hassan Nasrallah, who was also killed earlier this month. Apart from that, there have been heavy bombardment and airstrikes throughout the entire country, throughout the entire day. We just saw the images from Tyre, a very ancient city in south of Lebanon, which has been heavily bombarded. Tyre is also home to a lot of people from the southern villages who have fled bombing and further airstrikes earlier this month. And these people really tried to evacuate the city. Tyre is also home to a site that is part of UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it also has a lot of very old, ancient heritage buildings. Apart from that, also the southern suburbs of Beirut were attacked, and the Bekaa Valley in the east of the country.
And Germany's Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock was in Lebanon today. What was her message?
Baerbock directly addressed to the Lebanese people, saying, "You are not alone." She then continued saying that there is no military solution to the war between Hezbollah and Israel, and that she, as a foreign minister, as well as Germany, is doing her best to achieve a diplomatic, political solution. She then also said how this diplomatic solution could look like. She emphasized that the UN resolution 1701 that ended the war in 2006 should be implemented, and that this is the key strategy to achieve peace. But she didn't say how this should be implemented, because the resolution is there since 2006, and neither of the parties, neither Hezbollah nor Israel, is sticking to this framework.
OK, thank you for that, Stella. Journalist Stella Menna in Beirut.